Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So I did have to, it was a little challenging getting to them this morning. First, I'd like to say it is gorgeous out here. It's like 44 degrees. I'm a little closer, so I'm being a little quieter. But it was 44 degrees out here today, and I went on a wonderful run. And they weren't close to the trail as usual, so I had to step across the creek, and I tried to find a really good crossing spot, but it was all so muddy, and so I got my shoes a little wet, just what I try not to do. And today I did not wear my waterproof shoes, but I'm so glad I did it, because guess what? My little friends are hanging out. And I saw them earlier, and I thought it was only two, but it's a whole family. They're just kind of finding food right now, and some are stretching out, relaxing, but it's so nice getting so close to them. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Oh, so there's a little squirrel that's hanging with them. He's adorable. Let's see if we can see him. My little squishy. I can't really see him through. You know what was wonderful? I saw some birds. Like, I was relaxing, and there were like 30 birds that just kind of surrounded me in the bamboo bushes. So I think they're out pretty heavy today because it's so beautiful. Look, I was right there in that spot where those bamboo trees are, and I stood there for a little while, and I looked up, and it was like they were just flying around in circles. It's probably their spot. So many different colors. It had like blue ones that were black and white, it had some gray ones. And I have to do some studying about birds so I can learn to recognize who's who when they show up to say hi. Yeah, I had to cross that creek there. Be surprised because it's kind of slim. It's pretty easy to find a spot, but you've got to be kind of nimble to get across. There's one of my little bird friends. Where's he at? Can I see him? No, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. They're all just kind of flying around. You hear them? can watch them. They're like chasing each other, playing just like the deer do when they're out in the morning, the bucks. And they start chasing each other and being silly. And beautiful birds do the same. See if I can get a little closer. Huh? She's walking away. Someone's spotting me. It's funny. I think someone else is like hanging out in the spot at night because there are a lot of beer cans over here. Teenagers probably. I mean, it's a lot of beer cans. 1, 2, 3. Someone's stealing one of Daddy's beer and coming down to the woods. You see they're camouflaged pretty well in there. I know you see them moving, but the bushes and trees. Where's the little camouflage friend? Oh. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. You guys hear that rooster in the back? So while I'm out here looking at these wonderful creatures, let's talk about bugs today. It's always fascinating to delve into the world of bugs. Most of the bugs are, well, in my area, have already shed their antlers, and so I have to kind of get a little closer to recognize that they're a bug. Sometimes there are other features that can kind of give me a clue. For example, bugs are larger than does. They're usually larger than the doe, and so if I see a bigger deer, I usually assume that it's a buck. So, what's pretty cool about bugs is that they're the only type of deer that grow antlers, with the exception of the female caribou. So, I think I learned a while ago that there are rare occasions occasions in which a female deer may grow a antler, and I guess it's the caribou. Oh, something spooked him. It wasn't me. I wonder if it's the something up. See, he looked up. It's probably like a squirrel in the tree. You know, squirrels are tricky. They're probably like, let's get rid of her. So they're like climbing in the trees and doing what they do. So I'd like to mention the click of a stick or a tree or anything. They're like, oh, I gotta go. But if it's the car, they will stand there and get hit. Maybe like for cars on the horn, we can make them sound like a tree clicking or a branch breaking. So when you press the horn, or you can put deer horns, which when you press it, it sounds like a tree just broke or a branch just broke. And this way, maybe then they'll get out of the way. So deer antlers are, or the antlers on the bucks, they're made of bone. So they're essentially like regeneration of bone. You know, like modern science is studying them to try to figure out how they can use it to advance human bone growth. I found my first antler that was shed by a buck recently. It's a tiny one, as I mentioned, but it is so heavy. I would have never thought that that little antler was so heavy. I'm going to put it on a scale and find out how much it weighs. But as tiny as it is, I was really surprised by the weight. Oh, that was me. See, they heard that little break and took off. Nothing broke. All I did was move my foot. I need to move back because the sun is kind of blocking my shot. Oh, thank you so much for hitting the like button. And again, good morning and welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on. I think they're planning their escape. Yeah, I see you. Surprised that didn't make them take off. But they are gathering their belongings and packing up to leave. Wow, so cute. Are you gonna jump too? You can do it. Ah, good job. Now what about you, little one? Are you gonna jump too? Love seeing them jump. Yeah? Yep, you jump too. Now I'm gonna walk out and try to find a different path to get closer without scaring them, because we don't want them to run away. Moving around without making a lot of noise is not my specialty. Maybe one day I'll get better at it, but found them. Hi. You guys are so beautiful. As I mentioned earlier, we were talking about bucks. You know, the antlers that are super heavy and made of bones, they shed and regrow yearly. I think most of us know that. I don't think I initially realized that when I started watching deers, that they lost their antlers. Walking away now. Have to go a little further up this hill. It's a little odd. There's some man-made stuff up here. Oh, looks like it used to be a old property or something. Again, good morning, and thank you guys for joining me. It's really watching me pretty hard, huh? So as we discuss antlers, did you know that antler growth is influenced by testosterone? It's pretty cool, huh? Yep. It's influenced by testosterone. Yep. Well, I guess that means that the caribou, female caribou, may have a little testosterone that help their antlers grow. Did you know that deer antlers are covered in velvet during growth? It's a skin that is rich in blood and blood vessels. That's why when they're shedding their antlers, I've seen them a couple of times. It looks painful. People are shedding their velvet. It looks painful because the velvet's you see the red and you see the blood and you're like, oh my God, they're shedding. It must hurt. But I don't think it hurts because it's literally velvet's falling off the bone. So depending on the antler size and shape, that can give you a clue, or it can be an indicator as to their size and age. Here comes my little birds making noises. Morning, my dear. They already know I'm here, bird. No need to run them off. I guess if you see an older antler with an older deer with smaller antlers, then it usually means they're not in very good health, maybe. I hear you. Another thing that bucks do with their antlers during rut, they like to fight. Hey, buddy. They like to fight with those antlers. So, of course, the bigger the antlers, I'm assuming that's the deer that's going to win. That's how they show dominance. So antlers are, I didn't know this, the fastest. So antler growth is one of the fastest forms of tissue growth in mammals. It's pretty great, right? So the buck is known for their antlers, and their antlers are one of the fastest forms of tissue growth in mammals. I think humans, we shed our skin slowly every 7 years or something. We have new skin. So we're pretty far behind because these guys shed their antlers a lot more nifty. No, I made too much noise. They're taking off. You know that I'm not that guy. You're gonna stay put, right? No? Not at all, huh? Like, I've never seen her this far. When did she become so brave? Really? When all the leaves are gone and I can see where I'm walking. I definitely won't do this in the spring or summer. I'm back. So when the bucks shed their antlers, is triggered by decreased testosterone levels. Isn't that pretty cool? So essentially, their hormones decrease, and that's how they know to shed the antlers. So if a buck is injured, it can sometimes affect the growth of their antlers. Let me try to find a nicer area where I can see them a little better. Oh, the great thing with the weather is that the trees are gone, so I can see them better, but they're camouflaged pretty well. You hear those birds? Just beautiful. It's like leaving my house to a free vacation. You know, it's probably harder to see them. If I get too close, they're gonna take off. But, see our lady here. Okay. It's a good spot. I can see you pretty well. Let's just stay there for a little bit. So I think we talked about the shedding of the antlers is triggered by testosterone levels. If a buck is injured, it can also affect their antler growth. Sometimes it causes asymmetrical antlers. So if you see a buck with antlers that just doesn't look quite right, it's probably because they were injured. There goes the little one. He's gonna jump the tree probably. I'm gonna jump. Little jump. Here comes the other one. also going to jump. You're going to have a little jump. 1, 2, 3. There you go. You guys are like, we're going away, aren't you? So we talked about the velvet on the antlers, and when the buck sheds the velvet, it's called velvet shedding. So the process has a scientific name, I guess. Velvet shedding. They're getting further and further away from me. Not quite sure how much further I'm willing to follow. It's probably the furthest I've gone in a little while. Antler size and shape varies greatly between deer species. Mostly in my area we have whitetail deer, and so what you usually see me filming are just the whitetail deer. Kind of lonely because they've all left me. And as mentioned, you know, the older bucks, they usually have the larger antlers. Their antlers are larger. And we talked about bucks using those larger antlers to display dominance. So it's another thing they do. Well, with those large antlers, you would think they'd use them as defense against predators, but it's not necessarily the case. They're mostly to attract females and ensure that they can reproduce during each rut season. And with that, I'm going to say to you, have a wonderful day. Enjoy this beautiful Saturday. Get outside, get some fresh air, listen to the beautiful birds. It's therapeutic. And maybe you'll see something cool that you can share on your YouTube channel. You hear that bird just screaming away. And my deer have walked away, and I'm not following them that far because that is the opposite end of the trail. And I actually need to go in the other direction. So at some point I probably need to get home and take these wet shoes off, finish my workout, and jump in the shower. I look down a lot when I walk through here, so I'm hoping the cat finds some antlers, but that's not always the case. So just try to slowly make it through. Hey, so you know what? It's going to be a challenge getting back across that water. Wish me luck. Look as in, I'm not going to fall inside. There goes my little nosy squirrel. He heard me coming, so now he's like hiding. And here's my problem. So that's my water. Like I said, lots of options to cross. Not right here, of course, because it's pretty wide. But I don't know if you can see those birds in that spot. They like to move around. So if this water here, that wetness that I kind of have to go through to get to the easiest crossing path. I don't necessarily want to go through that again. Oh, look at that little squishy. You see him in the tree. I know I said goodbye, but it's always cool watching them. Thank you for hitting the like button. You know, you guys, I really appreciate even if it's one or two of you that hit the like button, I absolutely appreciate that effort. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to share these 30 to 40 minutes and sometimes even an hour exploring with me. So you can tell spring's coming because if you look on the ground in these little wet areas, you see the buds. They're coming up, and there's always so many of them, and they're pretty thick, which is why during the summer and spring, I'm probably not this far across the water. Our little squirrel buddy's still up there. Let's see if I can find him. There he is. So after long thought and kind of watching this area, I think I'm going to try to find another route to cross back to the other side. I don't want to walk through that. Now further up, there is a better route. I think I see something here, but I'm almost positive that if I use that section, I'm probably going to get right there. Yeah, looks like a little island. But I feel like I'm going to get my shoes wet again. They're already wet, so what does it matter, right? You know, I think my little squirrel friend, I think I have an idea. I'm going to take the long way around to where I came, and I'm going to try to use that as my way out, but I'm definitely not walking back to do that again. I'm actually pretty dry now. I think this looks like a man-made path, like many have traveled this road, which is pretty obvious they have, because guess what? Beer cans everywhere. Beer cans. It's like teenage heaven. Walk through here, drink beer. Walk through there, drink beer. Oh, something's on my back. No, it's pretty gross. People are using this as a dumping ground too. So, lots of beer cans. And some batteries. See our little squirrel friend there took off when I came over. So, alright, think I'm getting pretty close to where I initially crossed. But if I take this longer way around, I can eventually get to an area that's less wet and muddy and swampy. Just love exploring. You know, the little buds that are kind of coming out the earth. They look so alien. But soon this entire area is going to be covered. I'm not sure if you can see all of them. Oh, the blue bird. Alright, so this area is not as wet. Let's get across. Oh, this is exactly where I crossed earlier, actually. I remember that bottle. Ow. I'm not injured. A little stunned. Okay. So look, I think we've got a way out. This is definitely a nice little island. Not sure if I can still make it across while on camera. Then, you know, here's what's cool. Here's this little tree that I could probably get on and just use as a bridge. But I'm not sure my balance is that great. And balance is important. Now, the dangers of this water is that where I'm standing, it's not very deep, and the distance between myself and the other side is not too bad. If I could probably grasp that tree and use it as a angle, I could use that to an anchor. I could use that. There are also these other trees that are kind of hanging across the water down here. But as I mentioned, I'm not great at walking the wire. And then I don't know how dead they are. What if they've been there a while and they look pretty rotted, and then, you know, it might break while I'm walking and I'll fall in the water, be injured, can't run for a while. It's just a lot of ifs and what ifs. So I've made the decision. The safest way back across is the way I can. Did it once, so I can do it twice. Right? Maybe. Right, so I think I'm going to have to let the phone go and say goodbye to you guys while I try to make it. I'll let you know tomorrow, or the next time I get on, maybe Monday. Look at this tree. Isn't it beautiful? Put a swing on it and use it as, probably climb it sometimes. Yeah, so I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, and or no, I'm not sure I'll be able to come on tomorrow. I have a pretty busy day, but the next time I'll come on, I will let you know the results of me using this as my path to cross back over. Have a fantastic day. And again, thank you for joining me while I have you. Let's see if we can zoom in on that bird that just landed. think that's a... Yeah, I was supposed to be getting off, but... That bird. So cool. Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Or Monday. Or Tuesday. Bye. And don't forget to hit the like button.